didn't connect, so we're not live. All right, so we are live now. Okay, that was a practice run. All right, so now we're live. Here we go. All right, that was a nice little test. What's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson and Tony Sakalas coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, here at Voodoo Wings. Thank you for joining us. We're going to open up the call-in line immediately, 205-686-3604. It's finally here, Alabama and LSU. Feels like, we've had so much time to talk about this game. It's finally here. LSU releases their trailer, which you must check out, by the way. It's very well done on Twitter. We've been breaking down this game, Tony, and you're finally back. We had you were gone for a little while.
I had like a 2 or 3 week hiatus from the show. So
I don't blame you. The season, besides this coming game, it's been sleepy, and I think that's one of the things and one of the key reasons that Alabama has to win this football game on Saturday is because of the strength of schedule for Alabama. Let's face it. Who have they beaten this season?
Yeah, and it's not necessarily their fault. It's just the way that the schedule worked out.
Yeah.
The Duke game didn't really work out for them in terms of a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just the way that the schedule shaked out, you'd say that this is a must-win game because after this it's only Auburn, and you got to think if LSU wins this game, they'll go to the SEC championship game, probably against Georgia. So Alabama's only ranked opponent after this would be Auburn. I don't know if that's going to be enough to make it if they lose. So if Alabama wins, they're in great shape. They control the SEC West, and they'll probably go on to play Auburn and Georgia, and they'll have a really, really good schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's a big game. I think it's a bigger game for Alabama than it is for LSU.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's a great opportunity for Alabama to really come out and prove that they can beat a quality team, a top team, and a team that Nick Saban said on Wednesday is the top team in the country. And it's hard to disagree with that. I think when you look at LSU and what they've done this year from an overall perspective, they have 3 solid wins on the schedule, and besides that, their team they're very good. You're going to see a lot of future pro players in this game. You talked about it today, Tony. We talked about Edwards-Helaire at running back. You talked about the wide receivers. And he's probably the best running back, as I said many times, that you don't even know about. What else do you like about this LSU offense that stands out when just kind of looking over the stats and looking over the numbers?
It's just kind of funny because this LSU offense, reminds me of the Saints. That's how scary it is. And, actually just tonight, Nick Saban compared Edwards-Helaire to Alvin Kamara, which pretty big compliment right there. And then you've got Joe Burrow as your Drew Brees. You got a couple of great receivers in there as well. So it's a scary offense to go up against. And I think both Alabama and LSU both have really, probably I'd say the 2 best offenses in the nation. So it's going to be really interesting. They also got both teams have a lot of quality defensive players. You've talked about LSU's defensive backs and how they call themselves DBU, and you've got 4 guys over there that are really good. But the thing I've seen is, during their bigger games, they've allowed some passing yards. So I really want to see how, Derek Stingley Jr. and Grant Delpit, how they match up against what I feel is the best receiving core in the nation.
Yeah, I think so, and I think there's a lot of key matchups into this game. Let's actually look at – call-in line is open, by the way. If you guys want to call into the show, 205-686-3604. We can look at let me swap this out, and we can look at some of these side-by-side numbers. Transition this. All right. I think when you look at these 2 teams side by side, there's so much to talk about, and I think when looking at Alabama's passing game going against LSU secondary presents some good matchups and some really good challenges, as you were just talking about, with Alabama's passing attack being number 5 in the entire country, going up against Grant Delpit, as you mentioned, and Derek Stingley, Fulton's who's on the outside. So many great matchups to talk about. And do you think there's going to be one particular difference maker in this game, Tony, when we look at this matchup just from an offensive perspective?
It can go, a couple of different ways. We talked about Edwards-Helaire. This is a guy that could be a matchup problem for LSU. I think Najee Harris could have a big game for Alabama. As much as people are talking about Alabama's passing game, I think he could have a big game. He's been doing really well lately.
Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson and Tony Sakalas coming to you from Voodoo Wings. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What's going on, buddy?
I want to talk about the game coming up.
You're kind of cutting out. Try it again. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Chris. I'm calling from Titus, Alabama.
All right, Chris. We can try to make this work. It's cutting out just a little bit, but go ahead.
All
right, Chris, you're going to have to try again. Call line is open, 205-686-3604. Got to be quick on the dial. If we can't hear you calling in, then, we got to move on. It's no disrespect. It's just, we're running a call-in show here. Right. 205-686-3604. Call in and give us your take on this weekend's game. Actually, send us some predictions, too. It's time to predict the score of this game. Tony, we haven't even talked about predictions. Do you have a prediction for this game?
Yeah, I was saving that for tomorrow morning. I don't know. I think I was throwing around some numbers. I think I'm going to go with 30-23.
30-23.
I like to stay around the Vegas line, so yeah. I think it's like 6.5.
Vegas knows. Vegas knows
23
every
Alabama,
single
by the way. I think
thing.
most of the time you don't have to say which team you pick, but I'm actually, I think this is one of those ones where you could have picked the LSU. So 30-23 Alabama is my pick.
I think. All right,
here we go. Maybe it's Chris again.
Maybe it is. Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson, Tony Sukalis. You're on the line. Who are we on the line with and where are you calling in from? Hello?
This is Chris. I'm having a bad time hearing you.
Oh, yeah, this is better, right. Chris. I think
Chris, so what's up? Go ahead, shoot.
Hey, man, I think this game is going to end up with Alabama actually. He didn't show me much against Auburn, man. I swear he didn't. He's not to it by any stretch. Even but Alabama's defense is getting better. Plus, they're on a mission. Bama plays good after disappointing.
Hey, Chris, I'm gonna have to interrupt you. You're gonna have to call again next time. The connection on your side just isn't good. Sorry about it, buddy. No hard feelings.
Right,
try again.
I know one of the things he was trying to say.
He was talking about Joe Burrow, and he said that he was not a Tua.
I got that out of it.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I think Joe Burrow this season has been great. He leads the league in completion percentage, and he's I think he's number 3 in quarterback rating. I think he goes Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, and then Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
In quarterback rating. He's second in the league in passing yards. So I don't know. It's hard to knock Joe Burrow. He's been pretty good. His escapability in the pocket is insane. Just keeps plays going. I really don't have a negative thing to say about the guy. He's looked pretty solid. The only thing, is you saw him last year. He's, it's night and day. But I think that has more to do with the way LSU's offense is constructed this year. And I really think that Joe Burrow is going to be a tough person to stop.
Yeah, and Chris, no hard feelings, man. I mean, it was a connection. It's nothing personal. So, if it doesn't work out, we got to move forward. But my take on Joe Burrow is similar to Tony's. I think when you look at him from a season standpoint, I think what he's done along with the LSU wide receivers has been fantastic. And I think, to go off what Nick Saban talked about on Wednesday, since LSU has moved to this spread attack this year, you've really seen them transform as a program and really be a dangerous team for everyone in the country. I mean, they have so many weapons. Their wide receivers are very talented. We've compared the numbers on Pro Football Focus. I mean, they grade out similar to Alabama's wide receivers. I mean, these are some guys on the outside that are really going to challenge Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Surtain, give the safety some challenges in one-on-one situations. We got another call coming in, and it is from Rob in Colorado.
What's up,
Rob? What's up, man?
Kyle, Tony, how's your night?
Hey, pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, man. I'm doing good. I'm just heading back. It's been a pretty crazy day to start off with. Have you guys ever heard your garage door spring? You know the spring on your garage door?
Yeah,
Have you ever heard that break?
Yeah, and when that breaks, you have to call somebody to fix it. In fact, I fixed and repaired my own garage door several years ago off a guy on YouTube, and we were actually doing the same exact garage door, and he was like, "You're going to have a problem with this step, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Just keep watching." But Rob, we're not talking garage doors. We're talking LSU and Alabama. So everyone, I once heard a wise man say, everybody has a problem, and they're glad that you have them and not them. So
that's a great quote.
Yeah, nobody cares, man. So what's up? Everyone cares about this football game. So let's go, Rob.
I am stoked about this football game. Look, I want to let everybody know, don't worry. If you have any doubts, I'm not worried. I have so much faith in Mac Jones. I know Tua's probably going to start. But I'm telling you, bro, Mac Jones never got to have, to me, quality reps. And when they game plan with Mac Jones, I'm serious. Mac Jones is Tua. Bama wins comfortably, and I feel like we win with Mac Jones. We win by 2 touchdowns. With Tua, we win by 3 touchdowns. I'll put money on that.
Rob has so little respect for LSU that he'd rather talk about garage doors than the Tigers. I respect it, Rob.
Rob, you're a longtime subscriber. You watch all the content. You've seen Tua. I mean, I think this kid is going to play on Saturday. But you're flat out saying that if Tua does not play on Saturday, Alabama still wins this game comfortably. I just want to hear it. Is that what you are? Is that what you're saying on the show?
I am not worried, not one bit. This team comes together for big games. Last year, Savion Smith was the weak link, and Clemson exposed it. We don't have that issue this year. Okay? Yeah, we have a little issues at linebacker. Those guys are rookies. But I'm telling you, Mac Jones is legit. He'll lead this team. He shared reps. Him and Tua shared reps. They game plan for him. He's legit. The running backs will play harder. The O-line will play harder. The wide receivers will get open. Auburn should have beaten LSU if you ask me, but they had no offense.
You know, I don't think Alabama will win comfortably without Tua, but I do think that it's possible that they do win without Tua, and I think it'll be important to make a judgment call of, you know, what percentage he's at, because I do think it's still possible. I think you're right that it's still possible to win with Mac Jones, especially if you design a play call that allows, you know, him to do what he's comfortable doing and to maybe focus, you know, on the running game a little bit more as well, and you know, take some of the complexities of the offense away and allow him to simplify the offense. I think it's still possible for Alabama to beat LSU in that regard. I mean, if Kyle Trask can Kyle Trask. Sorry. No disrespect to Florida there, but if he can throw against this LSU defense, then you know, I don't. It's not impossible that, you know, Mac Jones could throw against it as well. But I don't know if he'll be comfortable in that regard.
Rob, give us a score prediction.
Score prediction is going to be, I'm gonna say 38 to 17.
Whoa.
38-17, Alabama beats the brakes off the Tigers. Okay, Rob.
Yes.
You know what, Rob? And if you hit that on the money, man, we are going to replay this video and we're going to send it to all the analysts around the country, because that is you're calling your shot well in advance.
I'm calling it. You know, I really feel like, and if Raekwon Davis, if he can't make last year, the LSU game made Quentin Williams a lot of money. Certain games, one game can make you a lot of money. You can play one game and get hurt for the rest of the season, and they'll draft you. If Raekwon Davis is serious about this, he needs to flourish. He needs to come out in this game. We need him.
I actually think Terrell Lewis could be the moneymaker kind of game.
See,
in this game.
But yeah, wait. I think Terrell Lewis is already swimming in the bath pool of money. I think he he don't have to play another snap.
This is elevating him into like maybe a top 10 pick kind of guy. Like
I think he's already a top 10 pick. But I think, like, to go to Rob's take, Raekwon Davis. People know about Raekwon Davis, but everyone's like, is this gonna be it, Raekwon? If he doesn't have a quarterback sack this year, there's got to be some point, to get to Rob's point, where he just completely gets a lineman, throws him into the stands, and chases down Joe Burrow and plants him into the ground, and that is finally like his defining moment. And I think Raekwon Davis needs to have that defining moment at some point, and I would agree, if that happens on Saturday with the President of the United States watching, along with millions of college football fans, he'll have his payday. Am I right, Rob?
And
come on, I'm getting your back, man.
I 100% agree. And to what Tony said, Tony, I feel like Terrell Lewis is already a top 10 pick, and I think Anthony James is probably a top 20 pick.
They're both great. It's the best outside linebacking duo in the SEC and possibly the nation, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
but Raekwon Davis needs to step up, man. We need him to lead that front. We need him.
I was looking at the stats, and Alabama's defensive line on the season, they only have 4 sacks total. I mean, that's a low number of sacks for defensive linemen. I mean, this is
2 freshmen in there.
Yeah, so, but I'm just saying that this is a defensive line that doesn't necessarily get to the quarterback per se. These guys don't even get a lot of quarterback hurries. You see a lot of the pressure coming from the outside. Terrell Lewis, I mean, is having I think, and I've said it many times this week, I think he has Robert, you all right? That sounded like like a brontosaurus or something. Are we good, man? Do we need the?
No, I'm listening.
Was that the? Hey, Rob, was that the garage door springs, man? What the hell was that, man?
No, that was these semi trucks are newer. They're getting and
so
they're putting
were you
more
double
and more
shifting?
No, well, I wasn't double clutching. What it is, they have all these sensors and cameras, and whenever you turn the truck off, that sound comes on. I don't know why.
All right, man. I just wanted to make sure we are good and that your garage door didn't spring off and smack you in the head. No,
dude, let me tell you something. If that spring ever breaks on you, I hope you're not there.
Yeah,
that was the scariest thing I've been. Oh my gosh.
No, I know, because if you look up in your garage door, it's so tightly wound. It looks just like it looks dangerous. Don't go home and look at that garage door spring before you go to bed. That thing will haunt you all night. It's terrifying. I'm serious. It's so tight. Anything else, Rob, while you're on the show? Give us something else, man.
I have to say one thing. Everyone, Tony, Kyle, everyone in the chat room, everyone that watches this video, and I hope you're watching this TJ LSU dad. You talked all that smack all year, and then when we went to Death Valley and beat you 29-0, you literally shut your channel down for a month and a half. So when you watch this, when we watch you in Tuscaloosa, we won't see you for another 2 months, and he resurfaced just to talk crap about Bama losing to Clemson. So we're going to shut you up again, TJ LSU dad.
You know what? There's a lot of content producers on YouTube. I know he has a really big channel. A lot of people do a great job on YouTube. So, Rob, throwing the shots, and we appreciate the call, man. You got the score prediction. You talked about Raekwon Davis. You talked about your garage door, and then you ended it by throwing shade at TJ's channel, man. So you are on fire, man. But we appreciate the call, Rob. You enjoy Saturday. Enjoy your college football Saturday, because I think this is the Super Bowl of the college football season. But thanks for calling, Rob. We always appreciate to hear from you, man.
Take care, Rob.
I always love talking to you guys. Good night.
All right, man. Rob in Colorado. What a thrilling call, always. I mean, always has such a great call.
You thought this was a college football podcast. It's really a garage door podcast.
Yeah, we're doing college football, and we're also talking about garage doors and the springs that connect us all. 205-686-3604 is the call-in number. Hit us up. Coming to you from Voodoo Wings in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. All right, here we go. Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson and Tony Sukalis. We're coming to you from Voodoo Wings. Who are we on the line with, and where are you calling in from?
Tim from North Carolina.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Man, doesn't it feel like this game is never going to get here? It's just like we're stuck in the mud, man.
It's been like 2 years since Alabama's played.
Jeez. So what's up, man? What's on your mind? Go ahead, shoot.
Not much, man. I just think this game is probably going to come down to the defenses more so than the offenses. Because we know what the offense can bring, but it's the big question mark on the defense on both teams. I think it's going to be a battle between Golden and Miranda, like how they adjust and make adjustments and coach during the process of the entire game.
It always seems like with these shootouts that everyone says it's going to be a shootout, and then it ends up being like 23-17. Would you be surprised if it's like a 23-17 game?
Yeah, I would, because I think just the offenses.
I would be.
But Tim, let me ask you this: Do the vulnerabilities of the freshmen, do those make you nervous going into a game like this?
Yeah,
the freshmen?
And here's my take. Yeah, and here's my take on that. Shane Lee has to sit the bench this game. He has to sit the bench.
I mean,
unless it's like a goal line situation or something like that, he's a liability. Against LSU, there's nobody he can cover.
So who do you play in his place? Who do you want there beside Christian Harris?
Ollie Cajo.
Cajo.
Or you just want to go?
Yeah.
Or you just want to go dime?
Yeah, I think you go down because what you've seen from LSU, and if you watch a lot of film on them, when they go 5 wide, you cannot have Shane Lee out there in a 5 wide situation. He'll get toasted. You'll have to literally burn a timeout. So I think what they could do in that dime package is probably the best bet. Because you have Christian Harris, who is an athletic linebacker, but I mean, I think I'm with you, Tim. I mean, Shane Lee in open space against these type of athletes is a recipe for disaster.
Hey, if they go dime, one person to watch is Christian Barmore. I know the fans have been really rallying behind him, but
there you go.
He's a guy that you talk about getting pressure. We talked about that with the last caller, just getting pressure from the defensive line. Christian Barmore is the kind of guy that could really do that. And Nick Saban talked about him in his radio show earlier tonight and said that, he's a guy that's really gained confidence. So, got a bye week to work on, kind of refresh things with a younger guy. I think, he could be a guy for a potential real breakout game this week.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. And I think that is the best way to get pressure to Joe. Because he's not gonna, most of the time they don't feel or see the pressure to the last minute, coming from the outside. But once they see it coming straight up the middle, that's gonna take their eyes off, from being downfield, and he's gonna see that and have to move and adjust.
Yeah, it definitely affects the quarterback. You talk about just affecting the quarterback. Pressure up the middle. Nothing affects it better than pressure up the middle for the reasons what you said. Just in terms of actually just affecting what the quarterback can do.
Yeah, and I think you guys are on the right point. I mean, Christian Barmore is a guy that, earlier I said this is a defensive line that doesn't get to the quarterback. They don't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. Well, that's not the case when Christian Barmore is in the game. I mean, he's only playing 16 snaps per game, but I mean, he's playing angry. He's playing with a motor. He's playing at a very high level when he gets into the game. He has a couple penalties. I mean, he's playing with, he's playing what you want him to play at. He's playing with a very high intensity. So I think when you look at a player who might be some sort of a sleeper for this particular game, you look at a guy like Christian Barmore, and I think the defense, Alabama's defense, they need to really, this is an opportunity for them to step up and say, hey, you know what, we don't have vulnerabilities. We can go against one of the best offenses in college football, and we can shut you down. I mean, LSU at home, last year they didn't score a touchdown, and LSU's defense coming in with their chip in their shoulder, I would assume.
Yeah, yep, and also the Florida game and Auburn game, I hope we took some notes from those two games to kind of slow them down. We're not going to be able to stop them. But we just need to be able to slow them down.
What do you think about running back Clyde Edward-Helaire?
I think he's a potential problem. A lot of people's eyes, he's underrated by a lot of people. He's a very good back.
He's so good.
Very good back.
So good.
To me, I think he's performed better than our back.
Yeah, I would agree. Go ahead.
Najee's been pretty hot lately. He would have had his. He was on pace to get another 100-yard game. It would have been like his 4th or 5th.
The one thing about, I guess, what I've kind of noticed from this guy is like he can take it to the house. Not saying that Najee can't, but he hasn't done it yet.
They're totally different players too. I think they got
totally
different skill sets.
Yeah,
I think Clyde Edward-Helaire is more of a receiving threat. Although Najee's been decent as a receiver.
No,
I think
he's a very good.
The receiving threat. I think if you wanted more of a powerful runner, not that Edwards-Helaire can't do that, but I think Najee would have the edge on being more of your typical downhill kind of guy.
He's a bowling ball. You can barely see him. He's like 5'8", 210 pounds. Against Auburn, there in the third quarter, I talked about in my preview. He had 76 yards rushing in that particular quarter. So if LSU wants to grind it, if they want to pound it, this is your guy, and he could be a problem for those inside linebackers. I mean, this is a young man who's been playing at a really high level, and I think with his ability to catch the football, and I'm not knocking on Najee. I think they're different backs, like you said. I mean, one is 6'2", 230 pounds. The other is 5'8", and 210 pounds. So both very good backs, though. Right. What else, Tim?
Yep.
What are the any other keys to the game?
We can't sleep on Joe Burrow running the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or just extending plays
We,
in
we're
general.
gonna, yeah, and to me, that kind of goes back to that linebacker being out there
Yeah.
spying on him or a safety or whoever.
Joe Burrow's very athletic. I mean, he's 6'2". What is he, like 215, 220? I think he's an all-state basketball player. I mean, this is a kid who's very athletic. I think you're right, Tim, on that. I mean, this guy can escape the pocket. He can extend plays, and he could potentially be a problem. Running the football.
And yes, and on like third down, we can't let him be, the problem for us as far as just keeping the offense on the field. You got to get him and make him make mistakes or just get rid of the ball. But I think all in all, it's going to be a good game. I just hope we don't get out coached.
Did you give a score prediction yet?
No. I would probably say I'll say 34 to 24. I'll give us a 10-point spread.
All right.
Not too far away from mine.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good.
No, I like that. No, I like that, Tim. I mean, you're that's a realistic score prediction. So, I mean, that's good. I mean, it's finally here, and I think you bring up some great points about the defense. I think we talked about the running backs. I mean, all critical points. I mean, nobody ever wants to talk about the special teams, but that's another area that will play a big role in this game. I mean, everyone's nervous. I mean, give your reaction in the comment box when Joseph Bolivus goes to kick a 37-yard field goal, right? I mean, you're nervous when he kicks a PAT. Right? I mean, can you imagine? That's what I'm saying. Right before the half, here comes Joseph Bolivus to take a 3-point lead. Everyone's just like, that gif where the guy's just like completely sweating and he's just like sweat is coming down. That's how everyone's feeling.
The beauty of the situation though for Joe Bolivus is if he does make like a 40 or 45-yard field goal to win the game or something, all sins will be forgiven. I mean, it's such he's in a spot where he really can't go worse with Alabama fans. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he can go a little bit worse. But I think he's at a point where if he hits a big field goal in a game like this, it's like all sins forgiven.
Yeah.
A lot of it bounces off the upright and in.
Yeah. No, that the ball is, for whatever reason, magnetized to those goalposts. But, yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Tim. Hit it. So I want to tell everyone, first off, before we let Tim go, the call-in show tomorrow is going to be after the game. So it's going to be Saturday night while the phone lines are hot. So I'm going to leave from the stadium and I'm going to get back and I'm going to take your calls. We're going to do the call-in show Saturday night while we can discuss the game right after. So be sure and note that, please. But Tim, we appreciate you calling in, and we'll definitely catch up with you on Saturday. We'll break it all down, and it's finally that time. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
That's good. All right, no problem.
All right. 205-686-3604 is the call-in number. You want to talk garage doors. You want to talk about the best places to eat in Tuscaloosa. We got you covered. And got our next caller. There you go. Hello, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson and Tony Sucos. What's your name and where are you calling in from?
What's going on, man? This is Alex calling from Mississippi.
Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing tonight, buddy?
And I'm pretty good, man.
Thanks for watching the show, man. We appreciate the support. So what's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
We're going to start off, man, with the running backs. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if no one has noticed, Najee is a very different running back. But every 4 carries, he breaks a 10-yard run. One out of every 4 carries. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but he breaks for 10 yards 1 out of every 4 carries.
Yeah, 43% of his carries, he's picked up a first down or a touchdown. He leads the nation among backs with 100 attempts. So even better than what you said. He's picking up a first down 43% of the time. So almost half the time he's picking up a first down.
Wow.
That could be for 2 yards, but it's a first down or a touchdown.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm going to go back to the point you and I talked about a while ago. LSU is a dynamic offense, but besides Texas, as far as scoring, they haven't played another team that puts pressure on them to actually have to score. They're usually always in the lead, or they're always in a position to come to score, but not at a need to score. This will be the first time that they play a team that they actually have to put up points to beat.
And if Alabama can punch them in the mouth, it'd be real interesting to see how LSU responds. Because with that, if that passing offense is not working right away, and then Alabama, can scoring maybe go up 10, 13 points, I think the game could get out of hand. You know, you talk about Rob's prediction. I think the only way that happens is if Alabama gets a 21-point lead is if it just gets ahead early and LSU just kind of melts.
Right. I want, even if you put a point in the third quarter, even if LSU was ahead, I want to see how they react. Like, as far as play calling, would they be conservative? Would they be able to hold the lead? Because, you know, we're going to score points, and Nick Saban's going to keep doing what he's doing. I want to see how they react as far as holding the lead or being shocked that they're even in the lead, or are they going to be behind from the beginning? Another thing, the big guy, Grant Delpit, Sertan and Diggs could hold down their side, but that leaves Grant Delpit. He can't be in two or three more places at one time. So who's going to hold the other three or the other two receivers? Those, I can't remember their names, but those other two guys that they have in nickel, they're not pretty dynamic. They're not really elite. And I see if you're in a four spread, someone's going to get exposed. But you can say the exact same thing for Alabama.
Yeah,
because,
I think you're right. And to interrupt real quick, it's probably Jacoby Stevens on LSU side. He's allowing actually a catch 75% of the time when he's targeted. And I think you're right when you look at Alabama's side. I mean, hey, Shaheem Carter's come up with a lot of plays, but, I mean, he's a mismatch. You get him going up against Terrace Marshall, who's 6'4", Shaheem Carter's 5'9". They get matched up in some sort of matchup. The Thaddeus Moss at tight end. I mean, those are matchup problems for Alabama on the side. You're right. I mean, you make a good point. Go ahead, Alex. Continue.
Okay, now we're on defense. When they have, besides the five-man spread, if 33 and 24 are coming off the edges and can contain him in the pocket, we need a linebacker right there. And I say this again, Shane Lee is not the guy. We have someone to spy Joe Burrow and keep him contained to where he's worried about the pressure on the edge and he has to get rid of the ball quicker than he wants to. That could be a problem. That could be a big problem for LSU. But it can't be Shane Lee. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. He can't give up that quick slant, and he's going to get exposed if that's the situation.
Yeah, and I think when you look at Joe Burrow and the success that he's had over across the middle of the field, especially 10 yards plus, it's really amazing. I mean, this is a guy who is almost automatic across the middle of the field and then even 20 yards downfield. I mean, when I showed the Pro Football Focus numbers on our last show, I mean, 95.0 grade out, 20 yards downfield, down the center. That's challenging safeties. And then across the middle of the field, it's like 95% across the middle of the field. So you're looking at some big vulnerabilities for Alabama at that linebacking core if Joe Burrow does want to go across the middle of the field, which he will. That's what they do.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think they will punt to Jalen Waddle? It won't be many punts, but do you think they will punt to Jalen Waddle?
Not if they're smart. I don't know why anyone would punt to Jalen Waddle. I mean, I wouldn't do it. He's too good. Well, why would you play with fire like that? I punt it out of bounds, you know, maybe punt it with a rugby bounce, whatever you want to do. I just would not punt it to Jalen Waddle. I don't see the benefit in it.
Yeah, I think when you watch the tape with the Texas A&M game. That was the game where he had this big breakout game, right, Tony? It was Jalen Waddle where he was returning all those yards.
Right.
And I mean, you have to go back to what Nick Saban said. They punted it far, we returned it far. And that's got to be on every special teams tape is you look at Jalen Waddle and how dynamic he is. I mean, every time he touches the football, and it's crazy because he only gets the football like 5 times a game. I mean, in any other offense in college football, this is a guy that gets the football 20 times in 20 different ways. If they kick to him, this is the type of game where Jalen Waddle returns a touchdown, and we watch it again and again for the rest of college football time, kind of like when Charles Woodson returned a punt against Ohio State many years ago, right? It's going to happen at some point. You just got to hope that there's not a penalty because it also seems like every time Jalen Waddle touches the football, there's a flag on the field. There's some sort of mental error that always seems to happen. But, yeah, big playability. Jalen Waddle, I think when you look at X factors, Ali Kaho, you got to look at him because he's blocked 2 punts already. LSU has to know where he is. And then Jalen Waddle, of course, with his electrifying speed, you cannot punt to him and give him room to make you miss.
I got you. I will tell you one last thing before I give you my prediction. Right now, today, as far as a sure tackler and a playmaker, I would take Xavier McKinney over their safety.
Over
you can't name a time that Xavier McKinney has missed a tackle like in the open field. He is almost a sure tackler in the open field, no matter. It's not always pretty, but every game I watch, man, he is always a sure tackler in the middle of the field. No one ever gets around him. But I'm leaving my final prediction, man. I'm gonna go 38-21. I see LSU scoring, but I just don't see them outscoring us. And at about the fourth quarter, in Tuscaloosa, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give you 38-21. That's my score prediction.
All right.
Not bad.
Great calling, by the way, Alex. Please call again next time. Continue to join the show. You had really great stuff. And before we let you go, I agree with you on Xavier McKinney. I do have respect for Grant Delpit, and he's a tremendous player, but I think you bring up a great point. His open field tackling, when we're talking about Xavier McKinney, is spot on. Leads the team in tackles. This is a guy who's a difference maker as well in the secondary. So Grant Delpit, a baller. Xavier McKinney, baller. Big-time safeties on both squads. But great calling, Alex. Sincerely appreciate you calling in tonight.
All there, man. You guys have a good one.
All right, man. Take it easy. That was Alex from Mississippi. Probably one of the top calls we've had so far besides Rob in Colorado. 205-686-3604 is the number to call in. Post your score prediction in the comment box. He's Tony Sakalas. He will be talking about Najee Harris tomorrow. What's the scoop on Najee tomorrow?
Just, obviously, we've seen a big production in Najee Harris. So I kind of talked to some of his people. I talked to his mom. I talked to his trainer back in Antioch, California, Marcus Malou. And just kind of talked about the mindset that he had coming into this season, and just a lot of things. I think a lot of his success boils down to patience and also his faith. And I think this whole story will kind of touch on both of those things and kind of show a side of Najee Harris that maybe not so many people knew.
Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson and Tony Sakalas. Who's on the line and where are you calling in from?
This is Robert from Mobile.
Hey, what's up, Robert? Thanks very much for calling. And before we start, Robert, you can read Tony Sakalas' feature article on Najee Harris tomorrow at BamaInsider.com. So when you wake up and you're rolling out of bed, go to BamaInsider.com on your phone or your tablet and read the feature on Najee Harris, BamaInsider.com. What's up, Robert? How you been, man? How's the weather down in Mobile? It looked like there was some ugly weather down there.
Oh, yeah. It was pretty stormy today. But
did you see that storm, that picture that James Spann tweeted out? It looked like a monster was like coming towards the city.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was
terrifying.
Yeah, it was terrifying. But so glad you're safe, Robert. What's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
This was a committee's picks the other day. But again, I thought it was really ridiculous putting Ohio State #1. I mean, I see nothing on Ohio State's resume that's better than LSU. So to put them #1 was just patently ridiculous. But I think it's showing that Alabama, if they lose, I see no path back in for it.
I think he might have a point. I think he might have a point there. And I also thought they got kind of cute with putting Penn State over Clemson. I mean, let's not forget that this Clemson team is pretty dang good. And I don't know. I mean, I would have I think it's almost more inexcusable to take Clemson out of the top 4 than to put Ohio State at #1. But having both those things, having Ohio State at #1 and having Penn State at #4, definitely kind of shows you how they view the Big Ten. And I just can't really see Alabama getting back into this playoff if they lose on Saturday, because they won't have the strength of schedule to do so. And so there's a couple things you got to look at too. I mean, if Kansas State was to do well, then maybe that Oklahoma loss doesn't look as bad. Maybe they get into the mix as a one-loss team with it being a division champion. There's a lot of scenarios you can throw out there, and I just think that one win against Auburn is not going to be enough to get Alabama back into the playoff mix. So I think this is a very essential game. It's like we said earlier in the show, I think it's a bigger game for Alabama than it is for LSU, because I think LSU would have an easier time getting back into the playoffs with a loss.
And I've always thought the system was, well, the way college football is now, that I wish it was more like the NFL, where, okay, the best team aren't just one loss away in a regular season game from being out of the playoff or competing for a national championship. But college definitely can use some more structure like the NFL has.
Well, I don't know,
since we're going down this playoff route anyway.
Yeah, but then, you lose some of this mystique of college football. I think it's what makes college football so interesting, and that every game matters. I mean, if you get totally to the playoffs, you're going to have teams, resting their players because they don't need to win because they're going to make the playoff anyways. I don't know. I think it's important that every game matters in college football. I think that's what makes the passion so high in it. I don't necessarily want it to be the NFL. I like that college football is a little bit different. But I don't necessarily love the way that the playoffs decided, and the committee seems very it seems one week they decide the rankings on this factor, and then the next week they're just totally changing it up with another factor that they're deciding it on. I don't know. I personally wouldn't mind going back to the computer rankings, but then just having 4 teams. I know I'm probably not in the majority here, but I wouldn't mind that at all.
Oh, I totally agree with you on the computer. The computer always got it right in the end, the best 2 teams. People hated it. People didn't like it, how the computer did it. But in the end, it was always right.
And it never got wrong in the top 4 teams. That's the thing. So even if you I think sometimes with the computer, there was a third team that was like, oh, well, maybe they could have made it. But I mean, how many times with the computer did you debate, well, the number 5 team should have been the national champion? You never did it. So if you can take the top 4 teams and let them decide it in the playoff, I think that's the perfect system.
I think I just my take on all this is the computer. I think is absolutely hilarious. The computer can match what the committee is trying to decide. It's a computer, and you're so pissed off. You're that damn computer's right again, and it's getting these top 2 teams in here. But I also think it's comical the way the committee is set up now. There's the people who are on the committee, they decide the fate of these teams based off what they think. I kind of agree that there should be more structure as well. You should have to have these playoff type elements to get into the playoffs. If Alabama really loses tomorrow or on Saturday, should they really be penalized and not make the playoffs based off just one particular Saturday? I don't know. I mean, it's a good room for debate. The strength of schedule, I'm a big component of strength of schedule, and Alabama just doesn't have it. That's why this game Saturday is so pivotal. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State, I know Robert isn't high on Ohio State. He's always throwing shade at them every single time he calls in. I think they're a good football team on both sides of the football. LSU has proven that they can win those tight games. Alabama's still looking for their first quality win. Penn State, I'm with you, Tony. I think until Clemson, they've won how many games have they won? 24, 25 games in a row?
Clemson beats Penn State tomorrow.
And I think I would agree with that. And I think Clemson is a team that will rise up when they need to. There's too many playmakers on that team. I know when I think Clemson, I think that they almost lost to North Carolina. That's all I think about. But I think when you look overall, they have the talent still to beat most of the teams in college football within that top 8 format. And
that's one game that they didn't even lose. That's the thing is they're getting punished so hard for that game. They didn't lose it.
They lost to me though. As soon as they're dead.
Well, what's Ohio State's quality win?
Wisconsin.
Give me Ohio State's quality. Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin, and what team? I would say that I would say Texas A&M. Okay, at this point, Texas A&M is Alabama's best win. Mm-hmm. Who are you going to bet your house on a neutral site against Texas A&M and Wisconsin?
I don't know,
and every cent you own, you've got to be betting on this game. You're not betting Wisconsin over Texas A&M.
Wisconsin to beat Robert, you're going off the rails, man.
Robert,
Wisconsin beats Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher is spanked by the Badger.
I'm a Houston, Texas native, a proud Texan, and I will tell you that Wisconsin would be an A&M team. I'm sorry.
I don't believe it. But again, I haven't seen Ohio State play a team that I can say, okay, yeah, I agree, that's a good team. Because Wisconsin lost to Illinois. You think Texas is going to lose to Illinois? I mean, Texas A&M, will Texas A&M lose to Illinois?
Texas A&M came close with Arkansas.
That's true.
Arkansas was horrible.
Arkansas was really bad.
Are they as bad as Illinois?
Probably.
I don't know.
To be honest with you, probably.
All these teams that we're talking about might be trash in the end. So the biggest game, Robert, is this weekend. Alabama, LSU. What's your score prediction? What are your keys to the game for the Crimson Tide versus the Tigers?
Oh, well, yeah, real quick. I believe Alabama's going to win. I think we're going to win by 10 points or better.
Okay.
I keep going back to the how trash he looked against LSU's defense. Mm-hmm. He looked really great against LSU's defense. But when he played Georgia's defense, he looked average and below. Mm-hmm. And Auburn's and Texas quarterback, he looked great against LSU's defense.
Yeah.
And since then, he's looked average or below. Mm-hmm. And Bo Nix, if he doesn't just play, if he plays anything less than awful, Auburn can win that game.
Yeah.
Bo Nix would just, if he were just competent, Auburn wins that game.
Yeah.
So what's two? I think he can win with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Against LSU's defense, I really do.
Yeah.
So I think we'll win. I think we'll win big.
I think theoretically could. I don't know if they would win with Mac Jones, but I think that it'd be possible. I don't think it's like if Tua's unable to go, I don't think this game's over.
Anything's possible. Well, Robert, thank you so much for calling
Okay,
in. We appreciate it. I know that you don't like Ohio State, and I get it. So we'll just have to see. And if in the end of the day that Ohio State falls and those teams from Big Ten fall, then it is what it is. But I think they're a pretty good football team. But I just don't know about Penn State. They could very well lose to Minnesota. Who knows? 205-686-3604 is the call-in number. Kyle Henderson alongside Tony Sukals. We're talking Alabama versus LSU this weekend. It's only 6.5, but every single caller that we've had, including Robert, had it by 10 points too, right? Yeah, he had Alabama winning by 10. So I think everyone that's called in tonight has had Alabama by double digits, which I guess is it surprising? Yeah,
it is. It's surprising. I mean, you're going against the number 2 team in the nation. Or according to Saban, the number 1 team in the nation. He hasn't conceded that LSU is not number 1.
Hello, thanks for calling the show. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson, Tony Sukals. Who are on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Frank calling from Hawaii.
Hey, what's up, Frank? How you doing, man?
Aloha.
What's going on? How you doing, man?
Doing great, man.
Hey,
how was that meal prepping working? Are you still hanging through Thursday?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man. Last day tomorrow, and I'll definitely enjoy eating while watching the game.
Do you have like a cheat day?
Saturday during the game, my cheat day.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, good, man. So thanks for calling in, Frank. We appreciate it. So what's on your mind, man? Go ahead.
Just want to get my score prediction. I'm thinking Bama 38-31. No matter who plays, I think we still want to pull it out just off of the experience factor and the fact that we know how to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if LSU learn how to win against a team that has as much talent as them everywhere. Like everywhere on the field, we have, if not more, at least the same, if not more talent than them. I don't know if they made it over that hump to get past that.
Yeah, and it's obviously also going to help that the fact that Alabama's at home. I think it's definitely something you got to – if this game was in LSU, I think it'd be a little bit different. Just, when you're going between, tiebreakers here. But I think the fact that it's in Bryant-Denny, despite as well as Alabama's played at Tiger Stadium, I think despite the fact that it's at Bryant-Denny will be a factor as well.
How about this? If in this particular game, let's say Joe Burrow comes out, Alabama elects to kick, right? LSU gets the football. Joe Burrow throws a pick 6 to start the game. Does LSU ever recover? And I'm curious because I would be really eager to see how they played right away with their backs against the wall in Bryant-Denny. And like Tony said, I mean, this team has won 31 games in a row. The stadium is going to be roaring like we've never seen it roar before. I really want to see LSU and how they would be playing against 10 points down. And because I think it really affected Alabama last season during the national championship. When they came out and Clemson got up, Alabama really, they had a meltdown. And I'm curious to see if LSU could overcome that at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I don't think they could.
So I'm going to turn it Go ahead.
Go ahead, Frank.
I think what I would think would happen to the offensive coordinator, he wouldn't know how to react to that.
That's
so
what
I
I'm
think
saying.
they would probably go away from the passing game and try to ride Clyde Edwards-Helaire, try to ride him and try to take Alabama's offense out of the game. But I don't know if LSU ran against the defensive line like how they ran against the defense. But I think Joe Brady, I don't think he has the experience in the game to call plays like that.
If we're going hypotheticals, I'm gonna throw it at you. What happens? Let's flip that situation. Tua throws a pick 6 first possession, then goes 3-and-out his next possession, and then LSU scores again. Who do you march out for that third possession?
Talia Tagovailoa.
I think what would happen, I think we'll come out with Najee and play Bowden at quarterback. Game down to throw him off.
Oh wow, okay, that would be quite the mix.
Come out Wildcat,
the Slade Cap package.
No, okay, but I'm kind of almost serious about Talia. So here's my take, and this may be off the box, right? But stay with me. I think with him coming in, you have a game plan prepared for Tua. You have a game plan prepared for Mac Jones. You do not have a game plan prepared for a guy that can run all over the field and still keep his eyes downfield and still connect with these wide receivers. I think he could be honestly a nightmare. And the fact is, LSU doesn't have a strong pass rush anyway. So you get a freshman in there. It's kind of like I was talking to my pops about this. And by the way, pops, if you're on the line, what's up, man? It's like a young rattlesnake. You don't know your talent. You just come out and you just ball out. But whereas like you get older, you start thinking more. But I think that could be the secret sauce game plan. So maybe when we talked about Saban, playing Talia, he got so rattled because that could be his ace in the hole, so to speak.
My thing with that would be, first, I don't know if I would trust Talia throwing the ball and with that kind of pressure on him. Second would be, how many games that Talia played? He's been red for a year.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty wild statement, Kyle. I don't know if I get behind you on a lot of things. I don't know. I'm the one that asks about Talia, but
you trying to expedite it.
Yeah, but I think Mac Jones after that Arkansas game, he has the confidence in the team to lead us to victory if we need him. My only word is that people have to know how to throw the ball away. Just throw it away. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with kicking the ball. I was taught playing football that every possession ends in a kick, punt, kickoff, field goal. But we don't want to turn the ball over like in the Tennessee game where it's first and goal or second and goal, and you're trying to force a pass when you literally just throw it in the sand and you throw it up the next play.
Yeah, that was so uncharacteristic of him down inside the red zone. Usually he does such a great job, and that was he almost threw his second pick six against Tennessee, which have been really weird to see.
You also saw that, looking back, you also saw that in the A&M game where he kind of forced it in the end zone. He's almost getting a little touchdown hungry. Maybe, he's had some time to kind of think about that and kind of, I'm sure that they've corrected that. But yeah, you saw the same thing in the Texas A&M game where he threw a pick and he really forced the ball. So maybe it's better that he learned from those.
Hopefully he learned and just throw the ball away, and every play doesn't have to be a touchdown.
Right.
I mean, I think early in the year, especially the South Carolina game, when South Carolina was playing a lot of off coverage, he was checking down the Najee, and we were still getting first down. And Najee had a big play on a check down or a cross. So, at the back to it, so just take what defense gives us, and eventually we're going to march down the field where one of these receivers is going to pop through a hole or through a mid tackle and go to the house.
Yeah.
So,
anything, when you look at this game overall, Frank, does anything make you nervous on either side of the ball besides the health of Tua?
Actually, Evan Neal makes me nervous at left guard. He makes me nervous as a freshman.
Yeah,
I think LSU is going to probably bring a lot of blitz packages, a lot of stun to confuse him. And I'm hoping that at this point in the season, I don't consider him a true freshman anymore. You play 7-8 games, you're not really a freshman anymore. I'm hoping he doesn't get confused, because when I look at his pro football focus grade, I think he had the lowest grade on the offensive line.
He does. You're right.
And I just don't want him to get too confused or they'll make it too close for him.
Yeah.
That's a situation where if he struggles, you just put in Ekiyor at that spot, or there's other options to go with.
He's good too.
There's some depth there too. So I mean, if Evan Neal's unable to go, you might have a shorter leash with him and just go with a guy like Emil Ekiyor Jr.
That's why I'm not understanding though. Why not flip Big Brown to left guard, and we got Matt Womack, who's a 50th senior, sitting on the bench.
Matt Womack's another guy too. Yeah, that could come in and fill that role. So
he started at tackle for a whole year and a half. So I don't think why not. And he's a better guard than tackle. Put him in there and let him just block. But I think Nick Saban and Alabama they got to the point where they were so worried about people transferring that we were forced to be freshmen in the game.
Yeah, that's not a bad take. I mean, that's definitely not a bad take. And I like the fact that you guys are bringing up additional offensive linemen, because I think that shows that Alabama has really good depth at the position, which is really important, especially as you get in this critical part of the season. Matt Womack is a guy that a lot of people don't talk about. He's a senior now, right, Tony? He's a senior. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he has a lot of experience. Yeah, and then you have Emil Ekiyor. Man, he's really, really good. And then you've even seen them pop out Chris Owens at the tight end position and swap him to number 84, which is just.
I like that, just just to give extra protection in this game, in a game where you're going to need to protect Tua more. He's not going to be as mobile,
especially without Miller Forrestall, right?
Especially,
So
I
think we probably will be 11 with Chris Owens on the field a lot. I think it'll take away one less threat in the passing game, but it should give us time to block 6 because LSU's pass rush, especially without divinity, is not that great anyway. Chase Young is cool, but he's not.
I'm not really worried about the pass rush when you look at it, this is a team that doesn't get to the quarterback a lot.
And that's probably the reason behind with the great secondary they have. That's more the reason why they've given up these big passing games is the lack of pressure. So,
what else, Frank? Did you give us a prediction, Frank?
Yeah, I'm going Alabama 38-31.
38-31. Yeah, you said that. Okay.
I think Brian Robinson is a difference maker in that game.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
B-Rob, all right. You think B-Rob's going to go off?
Over Najee.
Over Najee because I think B-Rob has another gear that Najee doesn't have. Like, I've yet to see Najee pop one or a huge one. Because I don't know if he has the extra gear set. Because I would think Najee's probably a 4.5, 4.6 guy in the 40.
I don't know, man. I think Najee's faster than B-Rob. That's just my opinion.
No, but I think to Frank's point is this, that it's kind of like Raekwon Davis, the same thing, but on the offensive side of the ball. We're all waiting for Brian Robinson to just go beast mode, so to speak. Like he has it in him, and I think in short yardage situations, if this game comes down to the nitty gritty in the goal line, you feed Brian Robinson, and that's where he's been so effective. I mean, he's doing a great job. I love how Alabama has actually been using the tandem backs this year. I think Najee has been doing what he does, and B-Rob has been doing a great job too. But we're still waiting to see Brian Robinson just completely become the Hulk of the offense.
Yeah, it's really been the difference between Alabama's running back this season is it's been a 2-back system instead of a 3-back system, which we've been seeing in recent years. And I know that there's a little bit of difference between that. There's not as much of a running quarterback in Hurts, so it that kind of took away carries. But here's an interesting stat for you. Najee Harris is averaging 13.5 carries a game. That is the most since Derrick Henry averaged whatever, like 20-something.
Wow.
During his Heisman season in 2015. So it's been a while since an Alabama back has had this much of a workload as Najee Harris has. So that's something to consider.
And that's crazy. It's only 13 carries. Yeah, so he's only getting 13, and B-Rob's probably getting 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm. I have to go check, but that seems right.
We're still not a balanced offense. We're still depending too much on Tua to throw the ball. Some of these RPOs good to go. But I'm pretty sure LSU's whole game plan is going to take the RPO away, take the pass away. So he's going to have to hand that ball off, let these guys pound and make these safeties kind of inch up. Because if they play us with 7 in the box, we should just hand the ball off all game.
And honestly, if LSU elects to do that, then Najee Harris should have a great game. He should run for over 100 yards.
Yeah,
I think he's totally capable of doing that. So. As much as you say LSU's offense is kind of pick your poison, so is Alabama's. They have a very similar offense. So it's not like LSU can just shut on the pass.
I think it's identical outside of them having their receivers are bigger, and I think Moss is a little bit better than our tight ends right now. I think Jaleel Billingsley is going to be the next guy up if he stays. I'm afraid he's going to transfer because he's not getting enough touches. But
next year the light at the end of the tunnel is for Billingsley. If he can, next year he's going to shine. If he's going to be utilized a lot in the springtime, and I'm kind of curious to see for those who follow recruiting what happens with Darnell Washington, who will be in Tuscaloosa this weekend. He's the tight end out of Vegas, who everybody's excited about. 6'7", 255 pounds, and you can read more of that on BamaInsider.com.
I think the thing with Billingsley is, Alabama likes balanced tight ends, and right now Billingsley's more of a receiver than he is a tight end. And I think that once he gets the blocking aspect down, once he gets the blocking aspect down, he'll play more. I don't think Nick Saban's probably comfortable playing someone that's just more or less a receiver. And a
that's not bad. Yeah, that's not bad. Anything else, Frank, while you're on the show?
No, the Darnell Washington thing about recruiting, I think we might have got back in too late. I think we were so Eric Gilbert coming, and then we kind of fell off Darnell Washington, then Eric Gilbert not coming, and now we're like, oh my God, we got to go back and get Darnell Washington. So I hope he comes. I know this recruiting weekend is going to be huge. I'm actually going to get ready to fly out tonight to go to the game.
All right.
So,
Nice.
So hopefully I'll get a chance to see all the recruits and everything me and my brother's doing. So hopefully I'll get a chance to see everyone and enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going with Bama 38-31 with a late pick to Trayvon Diggs for the win from Burrow.
No,
that's my call.
I like it, man. And hey, Frank, if you're in Tuscaloosa and you're here around the university, which obviously you will be, and it's your cheat day, stop on over at Voodoo Wings and get yourself something to eat. And I'm telling you, the wings are amazing, but what am I going to say about the fries? Fattest fries in all of the land. So be sure, stop in Voodoo Wings. Tell them Kyle Henderson and Tony Tsoukalas of Bama Insider sent you. Appreciate the call, Frank. Be safe, man. Long way to go.
All right, y'all be safe.
All right, man.
All right, have a blessed night.
Take it easy, man. You too. All right.
Man, if Trayvon Diggs gets another
pick six,
it'd be his third straight game with a
touchdown,
defensive touchdown. Yeah.
All right, we'll take a couple more calls. 205-686-3604. We got calls from Hawaii. We got calls from Colorado. We got a call from Mobile. We got some calls from North Carolina. So we've actually touched.
We're spanning the world.
Yeah, we're spanning the globe. We're spanning the country, right? Yeah. From North Carolina all the way to Hawaii.
Have we gotten an international call? That's gonna be the day.
No, but we have some followers from New Zealand.
Can they call? If you're from New Zealand right now, please get. Is it?
All right. Hey, what's going on? You're on the line with Kyle Henderson and Tony Tsoukalas. Who are we on the line with and where are you calling in from?
What's up, Kyle? What's up, Tony? It's CFP Jared from Houston.
Oh, Houston.
Yeah, Tony's going to get all fired up. He's from the Woodlands. I'll let you guys go at it. Go ahead.
I'm from the West Houston area, but I definitely know where the Woodlands are.
That's fine.
So what's up, man? Yeah. What are the keys to the game for this weekend, man?
I definitely think, I called in earlier. It was Sunday, but one of the things I don't think I touched on was, in the Alabama-Clemson national championship game, we were moving the ball pretty well until we got to the red zone. Because when we got to the red zone, I don't know, just a lot of things stopped working for us. And I wonder if we'll be able to do that with LSU because, or maybe they'll be able to do that to us because both these offenses, they're going to get theirs. And we're just going to, have to play into, what we can do to limit them because we're not going to stop either one of neither team is going to stop each other's offense, in my opinion. But, when it comes down to the red zone, can we tighten up kind of like, I don't know, exactly the schematics of whatever Clemson did, but it definitely worked because whenever we got, inside the 30, they kind of shut down our offense.
Yeah, and that's something that LSU does extremely well on the offensive side of the ball is score when they get in the red zone. They lead the nation in that, and they're extremely good at that. So if Alabama's unable to do that, then that could be a big-time game changer because I think that when LSU gets down there, they are so good at scoring that, you got to kind of think that they're going to more often than not. I think
very good point.
If Alabama misses a field goal here or there inside the red zone, I think that could be really detrimental because LSU is not missing those, and so you can't leave points on the board.
Oh yeah, no doubt. That I think that was one of the key factors in us losing that national championship game. Because we don't have a kicker. Kind of like you mentioned, and LSU's gonna be like whatever. We'll let you kick the ball and risk probably getting 0 points. So that's definitely something I'll be looking at. Both teams' red zone play, and then also the one thing I'm nervous about is Shane Lee versus Clyde Edwards-Helaire because just watching him this year, he's always just like a step or two too slow. And I know Helaire isn't a fast back, but he's definitely a nice receiving back, and they like to run the wheel routes. We struggle with wheel routes. They like to run, sneak the carrier out of the backfield. And if Shane Lee and Christian Harris can pick up on that, I think that'll definitely ease some of my nerves. I'm really more confident in Christian Harris, being that he was a cornerback in high school, played multiple positions, but that was one of them that he played. So he has some experience and a little bit more speed than Shane Lee. But really just the linebackers is what I'm nervous about.
Man, Shane Lee is getting called out on this show.
If I'm Shane Lee, I'm just before the game, I'm just listening to the Kyle Henderson calling show. And I'm just
I would really love to be wrong on Shane Lee.
Yeah. I mean, he's a freshman. It's a big time game, and I think it's fair to pick on him. He's a downhill linebacker. He has a lot of tackles this season. He's done a lot of things right. This is his first year, but I think in a game like this, he could get picked on. He could be a vulnerability. He does have the lowest grade on Pro Football Focus out of anyone on the defensive side. So it's not like we're just making these up. It's not like you guys are just making this up. I mean, we'll watch the games every Saturday, and he's doing a lot of things right. But I think that, him on those wheel routes with the linebacker, especially a guy like Allaire, I mean, that's dangerous. That could be big time. And I really like your call about the red zone play. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, everybody out there knows that Alabama – was unable to be effective in the national championship game, and that really has set them back in a game like that. In a game like this tomorrow, or I'm sorry, I keep thinking today is Friday.
I know.
Still got a whole day to think about this game. That the red zone play is vital, and so is the special teams game. I'm the only one talking about the special teams, and Cade York from LSU is not going to miss field goals. I mean, the kid, he's good. I mean, I think he's 11 for 13 on the season, where Joseph Bolivas, what is he, 5 for...
I think he's 5 for 7. It's not.
No, it's
but
not.
He
I guess
doesn't
that's
have
fine.
he doesn't have a lot of long kicks.
Yeah,
It's just really been 5 for 7 on short kicks.
Yeah, well, you know how the Alabama kicking game is. So
we haven't talked about the GOAT, Ty Perrine.
Oh yeah, the punter. Yeah, Ty Perrine.
Yeah.
Ty Perrine. He's punted 4 times.
Done very well.
Yeah, he's done very well, which is great.
Big fan favorite as well.
Yeah, you can catch Tony's. How many articles do you have on Ty already? So what else, CFB? When you look at this game overall, I mean, there's so much hype. The outside noise is everywhere you go here in Tuscaloosa. What else are the keys to the game besides the red zone play, special teams, in your opinion?
I definitely think turnovers, because that's going to be huge, because you know that a turnover is probably going to turn into points for either of these offenses. Really, whichever team can, limit the mental mistakes, kind of like you mentioned earlier, whenever Waddle would return a touchdown, always have some little mental mistake here or there.
Yeah.
And that really kills it, because 7 points. And versus LSU, those 7 points are huge considering how good their offense, can be. So it's just, if we can get, snag a 7 points, snag, 3 points here and there, just like not on offense, like from the defense or the special teams, I think that'll be huge, and because both these offenses are gonna score points, and whatever points we can get, because from special teams and defense, I think will be super valuable.
And I think an early turnover would be key as well
on
either side. That's something we mentioned earlier in the show. I think if somebody gets a turnover early and is able to capitalize on it with points.
Very true.
Either,
Very true.
On the turnover itself or, just after on the ensuing drive. I think that could be a big mental momentum swing.
Yeah, very
true. Not only that, but I think that would really, kind of get the momentum of the crowd going, which I know should help. So. And hopefully, that could lead into some false starts and, some mental mistakes from the LSU offense.
Or
so
either
really
way.
Just,
either way, too.
Yeah,
if Tua comes out and throws a pick, I think
that'll kill our crowd.
It's going to get silent there because people are going to start wondering, is he all there? Is he, is the ankle okay? Is he feeling it? So, yeah, I think that an early interception would be very key both ways.
Very good call.
All right, well,
very good call, CFB. We appreciate it, man. And like I said to everyone else, the show will be Saturday after the game. So in the evening when I try to get home as quick as possible, flip it on the studio lights, and we'll go at it Saturday night. So make note of that.
All right, I'll make sure to call in.
Yeah, definitely, man. Good stuff, CFB. Appreciate you calling in, buddy.
All right, y'all have a good one.
All right, you too, man. All right, we'll take one more call, and then we're going to get our late night wing on. Our cheat night is Thursday night here from Voodoo Wings here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Cheat night every night.
Cheat night every night for Tony. We have different diets, so but the food here at Voodoo Wings is spectacular. So you got to come in. Tony likes where are you? You like the Voodoo Wings, right? The flavor?
Yeah.
Because there's this flavor rating from top to bottom. So the hottest is the bomb.
I might go mango habanero today, though.
That's the second highest.
I know.
That's the second hottest here. And we've had this discussion many times before. I think you have to have ranch with your wings.
Stop. Just get out of here.
Hello, you're on the line with Kyle Henderson, Tony Sukalos. Where are you calling in from, and who are you on the line with?
Old Dave, behind enemy lines over here in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's up, Dave? It's good to get the other aspect.
All right, Dave.
I'm just...
You in your bunker?
No, I'm actually on duty right now. I'm a police officer over here in a little town that I live in, and I'm on duty, and I was sitting on the side of the road watching your show.
Awesome. That's great.
All right, good stuff.
Checking traffic.
All right, good stuff. We appreciate what you do for the community. We appreciate you watching the show. So it's finally here this Saturday, Alabama,
Ooh, I'm ready.
LSU, and I mean, we talked about it before. What are your thoughts going into this game?
I'm ready to shut all the naysayers up about this Alabama defense, and this offense that we have anyways. But I think it's going to be a great game. I believe LSU's going to come out scratching and clawing, but I believe Alabama just has too much at stake and a bigger advantage at being at home. Alabama hadn't lost that many games. I think they've only lost, 4 games at home over the past, 7-8 years or something like that. If the crowd can get into it and cause a lot of noise and distractions, and like the caller before said, get some false starts on LSU's offense or whatever, that's going to be a big plus because, that's a loss of down or loss of yardage as well, that can get the defense off of the field, and get them some rest. And if Alabama can get in there and dig in the trenches and run the ball efficiently like they have in the past couple of games that they've played, and eat the clock down and score, and the defense can stop LSU, this is going to be it'll be a win in the column, which should project Alabama on the next college football rankings to number 1 over Ohio State with their weak schedule.
Do you think that Alabama would be number 1 if they won this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Alabama beats LSU on Saturday, Alabama's number 1 in the college football playoff rankings. And then depending on who wins that Penn State game in Clemson, I mean, those are your new top 4. With LSU probably not going down too much. I mean, they're probably just rotated, I don't know, to that number 5 spot.
Yeah, you probably. I mean, if they keep Clemson out with a 1-loss team, then that's just
no. Clemson would move to 4 and Alabama move to 1. Yeah,
so I'm a Clemson apologist right now.
I'm with you on that. What else, Dave?
If Alabama does beat LSU by 14 or more points, LSU might drop to the 5th spot. If everybody else stays undefeated, if it's a close game, I don't see LSU really dropping out of the top 4. Maybe they might drop to number 5, depending on how Clemson looks.
You have to drop LSU behind Clemson if they lose.
Yeah, Clemson.
I agree with that.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Clemson I think Clemson might end up losing the game later this year. I believe South Carolina, out of what they have left on their schedule, is the closest team that can actually possibly beat Clemson.
Wake Forest maybe too, Dave.
Wake Forest looks pretty tough too. They played them tough. But I'm ready for this game. Saturday. I hope and pray. That people get there instead of 11:30, get there about 6:30 in the morning for all the security stuff going on.
They're gonna have to get in.
We're getting to the stadium at Friday night, so we're gonna take our sleeping bags and our toothbrushes, and we're gonna be at the media gate awaiting the entrance. So you're right, it's gonna be there's a lot going on Saturday. So and actually check out the list. I think we posted it or we tweeted it. It's just the long stuff that you can't bring into the stadium. And there's a lot that you have to that you can't bring in, so be sure and check that out. And then also there's a lot of counterfeit tickets, so make sure you guys know going into this that there's a lot of people out there that are trying to rip you off. So make sure that you have everything buttoned up and you don't fall for any of that. That would be terrible.
Another thing I want to say real quick, and I know this is a football thing, and no matter what side you're on, whether you're on the left or right or whatever, I hope that the Alabama faithful shows some respect, no matter whether you like Trump or not, and be be real classy, not like what that Washington team did in the World Series, whenever he showed up to the game or whatever. Just be real classy, respectful. Whatever your opinion is, that's your opinion. This is a football game. How many presidents ever come watch a game like that other than maybe going to a national championship game?
Yeah,
very few.
I think I'm a real patriotic person, and I think besides the point of the president coming, I think it's really important for everybody just to, really appreciate the fact that we live in such a great country, and this is about the football game on Saturday. And, the president coming in, it makes it a great deal. With him coming in, he went to a game I think it was a couple seasons ago that we went to the national championship. He was at the Georgia and Alabama game. So, obviously, him coming in, it causes more headlines. And, this is a great country we live in. So
it's too good of a football game to worry about.
Yeah, all
the
that
political side of it. Let's just focus on the.
Well,
game,
that's exactly. I was watching the Nick Saban show earlier. With Eli Gold and them before you came on. And they were talking about how many sitting presidents have ever been to a campus to watch just a regular season football game, other than, a national championship or maybe a Super Bowl or, something like that. And they sat there and thought about it, and they said, we have to really do some research because we don't know of any that has ever done that, and that just goes to show how much.
It's definitely not a common thing. No, so I think it just speaks to the significance of this game and just how good it is.
That's exactly it.
And so I think you're
right.
That's
exactly right.
No matter what you feel about what side politically, I think just respect this game and just what it means to college football. If you're a college football fan, then have respect for what this game means to the game. Right.
This is the only thing. This is the last thing I have on Trump. So the only criticism I have on the president is the way that he flicked the coin toss for the Army and Navy game. And if everybody knows who's flipped a coin, how do you flip a coin? You put the coin in your finger, right, like on your thumb, and you flick it. He flipped. If you watch the Army Navy game, it drove me crazy because he went up. They gave him the coin and he put it in his hand like this, and he just tossed it up. So that's the only criticism. Is everybody knows how you flick a coin. You gotta flick the coin like that.
That's right.
But Dave,
go
ahead.
I done 16 years in the Army.
Wow, appreciate your service.
Thank you. I had a cousin that done about 5 and was killed in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
And May the 18th of 2010. And like you said, I'm a very patriotic person. I don't care whether you're Republican, Democrat, or what. I respect each and every person on this, in this country, no matter what it is. And as the commander-in-chief, you got to give him some kind of respect in some form or fashion, and, whenever you got a job like that, that's a tough job to do. You can't make everybody happy at all times. So with that being said, God bless each and every one of you. God bless America, and roll tide.
All right. Appreciate it, Dave. Thank you so much for calling, buddy. Be safe out there. Appreciate what you do for this community, and be safe out there, please, and appreciate your service to this great country.
I wonder if Dave drops like a subtle roll tide when he pulls over an LSU fan, just like a little jab.
You know what?
Almost awesome.
Yeah, and you can't please everybody. Try running a message board. It's my goodness, it's crazy. I think this is a great point though to stop. It's we need some rest. We have one more day. Let's get our mind right. It's inching closer to the biggest college football game of the season, Alabama versus LSU. This Saturday game is 2:30 on CBS. We will follow up with the call-in show right here on our YouTube channel. Remember, right now you can get a fantastic promo at BamaInsider.com. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. And because this offer is closing out pretty soon, so let me just get this going for you guys, and you guys can definitely take advantage of it. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. These are all the slideshows for this week. So I'm going to close out with this real quick. So right now, in this offer ends Saturday, if you want to become a part of the BamaInsider.com family and get behind the premium paywall, you get 50% off your subscription. You get $50 to the Rivals.com fan store, so you can get Alabama gear. You get 3 months. Additionally, on top of that, the promo code at checkout is BAMA1vs2. You can get tons of free gear. If you have any questions about how to sign up, hit me up on email, kyle@BamaInsider.com. Would sincerely appreciate it. At least you're giving us the opportunity to earn your business. So that's how we pay the bills and, keep quality content going. So definitely support BamaInsider.com. thank you so much for joining us tonight from the calls from Hawaii, from the calls from Louisiana to North Carolina, from wherever you are. Be safe out there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your college football season. And, stay with us because we got tons of coverage coming your way on BamaInsider.com. From Voodoo Wings in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson, Tony Tsoukalas, we're out. We'll catch you guys next time.